All right, everyone, welcome. Today we're going to dive into an idea that is seriously mind-bending. What if the fundamental blueprint of our universe, the very thing that makes it all work, contains both the ultimate key to understanding reality and the trigger for its complete and total destruction? We're going on a journey here, from the far edges of cosmology right back to the core of our own minds. And it all starts with one big question.
So just think about this for a second. What if the very same principles of physics that allow a universe to organize itself, to create life, to create consciousness, what if those are the exact same principles that have a ticking time bomb set at the very heart of reality? It's a crazy paradox, right? And it might just define our entire future.
So to even get why we'd need some wild new theory, you have to look at the cracks that are starting to show up in our old ones. And I'm not just talking about physics. We're seeing it in our own societies. The models we've trusted for so long to make sense of the world, well, they're starting to break down. They're just not holding up anymore.
And here's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. This is one of the biggest headaches in cosmology today, called the Hubble Tension. Basically, we have two really good ways to measure how fast the universe is expanding. When we look at the early universe, we get one number, about 67. But when we look at the universe closer to us, the late universe, we get a different number, around 73. And for the standard model, this is a huge problem. The numbers they don't match.
You know, this feeling of a broken, illogical reality isn't just out there in the cosmos. It's right here with us. This quote just nails that absurd, Kafkaesque feeling of being stuck in a system that doesn't even follow its own rules. You're being forced to play a game that shouldn't even exist, using tools that are designed to fail. Whether you're a physicist staring at impossible numbers or just someone dealing with bureaucracy, the feeling is exactly the same. The system is broken.
So, if the old we is fracturing, what's the alternative? Well, let's explore a pretty radical new way of looking at everything. A framework that says, no, reality isn't fractured. It's a single, unified system. A universe that isn't breaking down, but is actually actively building itself up.
And that brings us to this incredible idea, sometimes called the quantum superfluid model. You can kind of think of it like a 21st century version of the old ether theory. It suggests that all of space, everything, is filled with a single foundational medium, a quantum superfluid. It's like the literal ocean that our reality is swimming in.
And this is where it gets so incredibly elegant. In this model, two of the biggest mysteries in science, dark matter and dark energy, they stop being two separate problems. They're unified. Dark matter is just the substance of this cosmic ocean, and dark energy is simply the current, the large-scale flow of that same ocean. You see? This solves cosmology's so-called coincidence problem just like that. Of course their amounts are related. You can't have an ocean without having a current.
Now, for a big idea like this quantum ocean to work, it has to play by the rules. And one of the biggest, most fundamental rules in all of physics is CPT symmetry. It's basically a non-negotiable principle. It says that if you take any physical process and you flip its charge, view its reflection in a mirror, and run time backwards, the laws of physics have to be exactly the same.
And that rule, that symmetry, leads to a consequence that is just staggering. If CPT symmetry is true, and our universe is built on this foundation, then it requires the existence of a mirror image universe, a CPT inverted counterpart to our own. For our reality to exist, its reflection has to exist too.
But check this out. This mirror idea isn't just some abstract cosmic theory. It's written into our own biology. Life itself does this amazing trick where it breaks symmetry. All life on Earth, without exception, uses left-handed amino acids and right-handed sugars. And this specific choice, this is the key. It's what allows for all the complex machinery of life. But it's a double-edged sword. That choice creates a terrifying vulnerability, the doom of a mirror image. Think about it. So-called mirror bacteria, built from right-handed amino acids, would be completely incompatible with us, a biological agent of total annihilation.
And right there, that's the pivot. This beautiful, elegant, symmetrical picture, the one that makes a mirrored universe possible, the one that makes life possible. What if it's not a safety net? What if this beautiful symmetry is actually a trap?
Because as it turns out, the very same standard model of physics that demands these beautiful symmetries, well, it also describes what could be the single greatest existential threat imaginable. The price we pay for living in such an elegant universe might be that it's fundamentally unstable.
Okay, to get this threat, we have to talk about a very famous quantum field, the Higgs field.
You've probably heard of it. It's everywhere. It permeates every single point in space. And as particles move through it, they interact with it. And that interaction gives them the property we call mass. Without the Higgs, nothing would have substance. The universe we know just couldn't exist. It's absolutely essential.
But here is the absolutely terrifying part. The Higgs field might not be in its true lowest energy state. The best analogy is to imagine a ball resting in a little divot, partway up the side of a huge mountain. It's stable for now, sure, but it is not at the true bottom. Physicists have a name for this incredibly precarious state. They call it a false vacuum.
So how does that ball get out of its little divot and roll down the mountain? Through a deeply weird quantum process called quantum tunneling. It's one of those quantum rules that just breaks your brain. A field can, with a non-zero probability, just appear on the other side of an energy barrier it shouldn't be able to cross. So at any random moment, the Higgs field could just tunnel from its current false state to the true lower energy one.
And the result of that tunneling event? Well, it's captured perfectly in this just chilling quote from the physicist Sidney Coleman. A bubble of this true vacuum would form and expand outwards at the speed of light, rewriting the laws of physics as it goes. It would obliterate everything in its path: atoms, planets, stars, entire galaxies. We would have no warning. There'd be no defense. Just oblivion.
So you might be thinking, is this just a fun, scary story for physicists? Amazingly, no. We have data on this. Thanks to experiments at the Large Hadron Collider, we can actually calculate where our universe sits on this scale. And based on the measured masses of the top quark and the Higgs boson, our universe falls right in the middle, in the metastable state. We are, quite literally, living in that divot on the side of the mountain. We are balanced on a cosmic knife's edge.
Okay, so let's take a breath and bring these two massive ideas together. On one hand, we have this beautiful promise of a unified, mirrored universe, the key to everything. And on the other, we have this terrifying peril of an unstable quantum field that could wipe it all out, the doom. How on earth do these two things connect?
It turns out they are two sides of the exact same coin. The deep physical symmetries that are the key to a mirrored reality are the very same laws that create the doom of the unstable Higgs field. The biological mirror that is the key to life's incredible complexity is the very thing that creates the doom of a deadly mirror bacteria. The promise and the peril, they are baked in together. They are completely inseparable.
So if the problem, this paradox of the key and the doom, is woven into the very fabric of physics, what can we possibly do? I mean, we can't change the laws of nature, but maybe we can change how we see them. Maybe the solution isn't in a bigger particle accelerator, but inside our own minds. Maybe it's about fixing a fundamental error in how we view the world.
This idea is called internal parallax. Think about it. You need two eyes to see depth, to get a true 3D picture of the world. Well, analytical psychology suggests that to get a true 3D picture of reality, you have to integrate opposing viewpoints, like your conscious, rational mind and your unconscious, irrational mind. If you only rely on one, your view is flat and distorted. And when our society only sees the key, or only sees the doom, we are making a massive collective parallax error. We're trying to navigate the world with one eye closed.
And this isn't just some abstract psychological theory. This quote from author Lawrence Wright shows us exactly what overcoming that parallax error looks like in the real world. It's the act of empathy. It is the conscious, difficult choice to try and see from another perspective, to find the humanity in a view you disagree with. It's the only way we can ever hope to build a complete, three-dimensional picture of our shared world.
And that brings us right here to the final question. The fundamental nature of our universe seems to be a paradox. It's both a key and a doom. The same symmetry that creates also threatens to destroy. So, faced with that cosmic truth, the challenge for us becomes deeply personal. Can we, as conscious beings, learn to overcome our own internal parallax? Can we learn to hold both the key and the doom in our minds at the same time and finally see the whole picture before it's too late?